Gentlemen, welcome. Today we have Stacey Nye. She has a company called The Fix Code. It's going to be really cool for us to learn all about what she does, how she does it, how she can help you and I be a little bit better, fix our challenges, and be a little bit more poised in the moment. So I am super excited for this. Stacey, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. And I mean, you gentlemen are an inspiration because I myself was a single mom, so I know the challenges of doing it all, being responsible for it all, how scary it all is, the sleepless nights, the panic moments of dropping everybody off at school, or that moment of they all get out of the car and you're like, okay, I can breathe. I've got 5 minutes until all hell breaks loose again.
Absolutely. You're in Samoa right now, doing a lot of
am.
teaching and things out there, and you've obviously seen and been around, a lot of different change, a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures. What are some of the challenges, Stacey, that you're seeing through your lens that men in particular are really facing today in 2025 that they may not have faced even 5, 10 years ago?
I just think it's almost like I feel like almost for 30 years there's been girl power, and there's this everything was focused and has been focused around making strong women and independent women. And I raised a boy who's now 22. There was nothing for boys. There was no boy power. There was no, and I know the generation, like I'm 56, so like the generation, I guess they're the millennials, like in the middle there, where they also didn't have like boy power, or like if you weren't part of the basketball team, there was nothing, like there wasn't a lot for community for boys, and fathers were busy. So I feel like men kind of got forgotten in the empowerment process. And the women were getting louder and more empowered, which was great. But there's like an imbalance. And I feel like everything kind of in the last 30 years has gone like, whoop, like really, like we're going to find some balance. And I feel like, your podcast is bringing back the balance because it's like, hey, guys are not forgotten. Like, we are still here. And I feel that men have been crushed in the last 30 years in some ways, like whether, and I don't really know from a bigger societal space, but you have all of the responsibility, or you take on, I think by nature, you take on the finances, even though you might have a wife that makes 10 times than you. I don't know, like women are out there making a ton of money. But it doesn't matter. I think there's something instinct in you, as there is in women, to be that nurturer, to want to put the kids to bed. Like there's that, like, no, I want to. I know I told you could do it today, but I want to. I want to put them to bed. There's that nurturing space. There's that real inner cuddle that a mom, I think, never lets. It never ends. And I think that there's that, and I don't experience this, but there's that instinct from the male perspective to provide, take care, protect. And I don't think that's valued. I don't think that is recognized in our world, and I honor it. I think that those are like beautiful skills that men bring to the world, and I don't think they're being celebrated the way that they should be.
That's right.
That's
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, it's very challenging to want to take on that role, to have the roles of a nuclear family. Mom does this, dad does that, and you're right. I think that pendulum's starting to change, though.
I do too.
As we start to have an appreciation for those different facts.
So when you invited me onto this podcast, and I really kind of took a look at who you were and who your listeners were. I know I'm not a guy, I know I'm not a dad, but there's a part of me that has that kindred spirit, because whether you're a mom or your dad, it's like when you're on your own, it's scary. It's overwhelming. It's intense. Like, they are big emotions. And then you have your little people, which are big emotions too. So know that like I said, I may not be a dad, but I definitely have felt the challenges as a single mom. So,
Oh, I appreciate that.
all right. Yeah, for sure. And so how the fixed code helped me in all of these moments, and it's a big part of my book that's going to be coming out, is like the challenges of how I parented. Like, I think the hardest job I ever did in my life was parenting with a broken heart. And it's tough, and you got to have it together. You got to hold it together. You got to, you can't let them see that you're not okay. And so I didn't think I was going to get this emotional. Oh my gosh. You guys are bringing me back along like 20 years ago. So, but yeah, so this technique helped me like keep my composure, hold my emotion, like be able to navigate through my own emotions while this was all going on. And it's like you're dealing with one of your children while, whether your heart is breaking or you are thinking, terrified about finances, or, you're just not okay in those moments as they're also not okay. And this technique helped me because, for example, let's just take the feeling angry for, just out of the chute, the feeling angry. Now that I've been doing this for 15 years and I'm the master trainer of this technique, my business partner is the creator of the technique, which is, again, like an incredibly its own cool, story. But as I started to go into business with him and he started to heal me and help me with all of these big emotions and kind of like this broken, I was broken on the inside. And as he started to move me through all of these feelings that I had, like sad, hurt, angry, betrayed, overwhelmed, like all of these, big feelings, I started to realize how calm my life was getting and how much more fun I was having as a mom, as a woman, as a business owner, because I also had another whole business on top of the other one, this new one that I was starting. And if I just take anger, for example, when we feel angry, the symptoms of angry in every single person on the planet, this is now like 15 years of studying and data collecting and, just watching humanity do this, is when we feel angry, we are overwhelmed. We can't think and we run out of time. Now, every one of us knows exactly how that feels. And we would never walk around saying I'm angry, and yet we're living in the symptoms of overwhelmed, can't think, running out of time, like that, like just chasing your tail all the time. When Daniel did the work of angry with me, and it took a couple of minutes because it's like a guided meditation. It's very gentle and it's very kind, and this technique is very graceful. You get to keep your dignity while you're doing it. You don't have to cry and snot, you're not falling apart in any of this. This is it's quite elegant. But when anger was removed through the process of the technique, my life drastically changed because just angry alone was taking up so much of my RAM. Like, it was taking up so much of my brain power, and also like it drove me physically. Like it used my energy in a useless way. It didn't go anywhere. And when anger was gone, I was calm. I wasn't angry. I couldn't feel overwhelmed if you paid me $1 million. I could totally think. And I had all of this time all of a sudden. And I was like, what just happened? Like, what happened? And like, I didn't know this was going to be the result of just this one thing, but it profoundly changed my day, every day. Because, I would never have said I was angry, ever. But man, was I ever overwhelmed? Was I ever, running out of time? Like, I was like a chicken with my head cut off, running in circles all the time. And when anger was gone, all of a sudden it's like I could see a plan. I could think. I wasn't racing around like a crazy person. Nobody around me was running around like a crazy person. Like, everything was just calm. And that was a game changer for me. Imagine not feeling hurt. And hurt, hits the heart. But it also, as we feel hurt, we kind of like pull in and cave in and get like, ooh, that hurt. And it also manifests in the physical body as pain. But hurt's symptoms and the behavior of hurt is we actually turn it around and we become like verbal weapons. Like our words become hurtful and our actions become hurtful outward. And that is the last thing we want to do, because now we're sitting there feeling guilty. So the next feeling shows up, which is we feel bad about what we've done and what we said. So there's this big mishmash of like emotion to emotion to emotion. And this technique, like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years. The clients, the people that learn how to do this, because you can also learn how to do this if you want it. But as a client, you just start to feel better. Your life just starts to get easier and calmer and more relaxed, and you can have more fun because you can think and you're not just trying to navigate through all of these emotions. And this technique changed my life. It absolutely changed how I parented. It changed all of my relationships. And I started to feel better and was able to now start living my life calmly, with excitement, with hope, which I didn't think was possible before I met Daniel and met this technique. So, I mean, I'm definitely a champion of this technique, and it like I said, it's so graceful.
Right.
Like it's just so non-invasive. Yeah, it's not rough and tough, and no, it's beautiful.
So if you can dive a bit deeper, I mean, this is called the Fix Code. You said you learned it from Daniel, correct?
Yeah.
And can you just talk a little bit more specifically? What is it? How does it specifically help you? And why should somebody even want to participate and utilize
Try
this?
it? Sure. So the Fix Code stands for FLEAR, which is Daniel's last name. I is intuition, and X is for the actual extraction, which is what we do in the technique. And then code would be like sad, hurt, betrayed, whatever you're feeling. So if I were to ask your audience right now, we call this the magic question, and everybody gets the magic question because one of my most favorite parts of this technique is we don't ask anything about why you're feeling this way. So it does for me to be able to help you, or any of the practitioners to be able to help you, we don't need to know why you're feeling this way. All we need to know is what you're feeling in 1 or 2 words. So here's the magic question for all of your listeners, and whatever the answer is, whatever you answer is what we would do the work on with you in a session, or we have complimentary sessions that are 15 minutes, which is awesome. So everybody can try it. But here's the magic question. Biggest problem you have in your life right now, the one that like you just want to go away, the one you don't want to be thinking about anymore, the one you just want to shut down, the one you go for a run for, the one you want to go to bed for, like the one you just want to stop thinking about. When you think about that, how does it make you feel? If you could put it in 1 or 2 words, what would it be? And whatever that answer is the work that we will do. And like I said, it takes a couple of minutes, and it feels like a guided meditation. So again, very gentle, it's very individualized. So there's no like group session here. And like, I mean, if I did it with you, you would have a hard enough time to explain it as I do, which is like, well, you kind of like float up in the air, and it feels like a guided meditation. And yet each time you do it, it's a very personal experience every single time. Like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years. It's a very, very personal experience. And when you're done the technique, whatever that feeling was that you thought of when I asked you the magic question, when we're done, the coolest part is that when I ask you if you can feel that feeling, what happens is that you can see why you felt that way. You can see all the stories that were attached to why you felt that way, but you actually can't feel that way anymore. Like the feeling is disconnected from the events in your life that you felt that way.
Cool.
I know. And so if we're trying to get over somebody or get through something or navigate our way through like these bombshell or landmine emotions or events that are in our lives, this helps because if I'm not feeling a certain way about a certain person anymore, I can actually have a very clear and calm conversation. I can see clearly. I'm not triggered and want to like kick that person under the table or make, like saying bad things in my head about them. So it just stops. All of the stories stop. A lot of people call it the loop. Like you're in a loop, like it just keeps going over and over. This stops the loop. This is like profoundly powerful when it comes to stopping that loop in your head, which, by the way, is all the time. If you're not thinking about this loop, you're thinking about the other loop. And if you're not thinking about that loop, you're thinking about the other loop. And it's endless. Like there's no freedom. There's no peace in what's going on right now with these, what we call parasitic programs, these negative emotions. And this is kind of the way of the future. This is how we move through this chaos on this planet that is really ramped up in the last 30 years. And there's reasons for that. There's like, if any of your listeners, kind of go down the spiritual wormhole, the magnetics on the planet are changing. Like there's things that are happening on the planet that are causing these things in us to ramp up and get more, like to get bigger, to get more, like we weren't this mad when we were little. You know what I mean?
Right.
We weren't. Yeah. So there's a lot at play to confirm and to validate why we're feeling these feelings in a bigger way than we ever have. But this technique eliminates that. And it's one by one, like without question. It's not like a magic potion. It's not, you will be healed forever. Like, no. This is, well, it's work. Like you gotta stick to your guns. You gotta do the work. But as you're doing the work, anything that comes up, you now have a tool in your back pocket to get you through that moment. And when that feeling that you feel, the cool part is like a lot of modalities, a lot of therapy, and again, all respect every single one. They got us here, right? Like, it got all of us here. Is that the problem isn't what you think it is. It's not the event. It's not even something that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago that you're thinking about that you wish didn't, or there was a trauma or whatever happened, okay? It's not the event that's the problem. It's how you feel about the event that's the problem. And this technique disconnects the feeling to that event so that you no longer feel that feeling anymore when you think about that event. And the cool part is that you feel that way about tens of thousands of events in your life, right? So instead of doing 10,000 conversations, trying to reframe, trying to do all sorts of things around all of those events of how you feel, what Daniel's realized, and which is why he's created this technique almost like 30 years ago now, is it's not the event, it's how you feel about the event. So when we disconnect the feeling of that event, it actually disconnects from every other event in your life that you felt that way about. So now you've got 10,000 events in your life that you used to feel this way about, and now you don't feel that way about any of them, not just that one that you were thinking about, any of them. So like, it's like cleaning out the garbage. Like in one session, you could feel differently, potentially about 10,000 events in your life.
It's really profound when you talk about that, how you feel about events. I mean, you put yourself in the shoes of many dads today, right? Stacey, you've got, wake up in the morning, you want to help your wife get the kids ready, get breakfast on the table. You either go to an office or you're staying at home to work, right? So you've got this mindset, this focus, this burden that a lot of dads carry is trying to, support the household financially. You come home, you're stressed. Your wife wants to hand the kids off to you. You do dinner, you put them to bed, and you get up and do it all over again, right? And it's easy to ruminate on those challenges that are the everyday mundane, but they can really build up in themselves. And if you focus on those too much, that can help to lead you down to a more difficult and challenging path. So, yeah, it sounds like this is a good opportunity to break that.
Yeah, and I think dads have this, I think they suffer in silence. I feel like dads, don't say anything, and the women are allowed to, we're allowed to blow up, we're allowed to say stuff, we're allowed to, have meltdowns, and dads aren't. And I get that, and I get you guys get in the car and scream, and you do all sorts of other ways to manage it. You pick up tennis and whack that ball or whatever it is. But the pressures I feel on fathers are massive, and yeah, like if this technique can help you alleviate everything just from like the pressure, the tension, the stress, the overwhelmed, whether it's task list or financial responsibility or, like whatever it is, yes, like this technique will help with any of those things. This technique also helps with fear. So if any of your listeners' answers were, anxious, stressed, paralyzed, can't move, can't think, like all of those kinds of things, like fear of finances, fear of I don't know how I'm going to make it through the weekend, I don't know how we're going to make it through the holiday, like whatever it is, fear of losing your job, fear of losing that financial revenue, whatever it is, this technique helps with fears also, because a fear is when you're making pictures of the future going wrong. So my question to anybody that answered stressed, anxiety, nervous, those kinds of things where you're making pictures of the future going wrong, my question to you would be, when you see those pictures, you're afraid of what? And whatever that answer is what we'll do the work on. Like that's what we'll, and the cool part is again, when you start to live your life moments after our session, you're kind of like, holy crap, why would I worry about that? That's ridiculous. Of course, I'm totally competent. Like, of course I've got my shit together. Of course, like, this is ridiculous. Why was I ever worried about that? And you move on. And you never think about it again. It just becomes something like, why would I have ever thought that? That kind of thing. And that's empowering. Because again, it's very quiet. We're not walking around going, hey, I don't feel that way anymore. Like, we don't do that. It's a very quiet achievement. It's a very quiet success because you just don't feel it anymore. So there's a lot more room now in your space, in your mind, in your life to think about all sorts of fun stuff if you're not worried about finances or losing your job or something happening to your kids or whatever you're worried about. And there could be many things that you're worried about. I know for me, there was a ton. Like the moment I got rid of one, the next one popped up and then the next one. And I'm like, come on, when does this end? And I don't think self-growth does end. Like elementary school ends and we go into high school. High school ends, we either choose to go into the workforce or we choose to keep learning it in a system. Like we never stop growing. So, when people say to me, like, is this, like, do I ever get to not do this? And I'm like, you can choose at any point not to do this anymore. But if you want to keep growing and keep feeling better and better and better and freer from all this crap, keep going. Like, it takes a couple of minutes. Like, why would you not keep going? Yeah. So I never stop. I will never stop growing. I'll never stop learning, and it's fun.
Well, I've got a couple other questions for you as we land this plane here, Stacey. So I appreciate your time. I've got two specific questions. I think these are the most important ones. But first, where, Stacey Nye, can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
Wonderful. So it's thefixedcode.com. And there's kind of like the first page is like who we are, what we do, that kind of thing. And you can, right at the top, you can actually like opt in, I guess they're called, and you can go through like an intake form, which is the magic question, which I already asked everybody and they can answer it. And then they just keep clicking through and then you can book an appointment. It's a 15-minute appointment and you can experience this technique for yourself. You can either choose to say like, totally not for me, or you can say, I think I want to go forward with this and I want to book some sessions. I've got an entire amazing team that are there for everybody. And then, but also too, if anybody's interested in learning this, kind of go through the system, let anybody know if it's me, let me know you want to learn how to do this. And then it's an online training. So again, it's very private. It's very like on your own. You're partnered up with a fixed code practitioner to move you through your own healing, because this is one of those like put your masks on you first, then you can go turn around and help the rest of the world. But one of my favorite programs is the parenting program, which is who are my kids, who is my spouse, and then learning how to do this technique for your family and friends. And all my friends did it when I was learning how to do this. They learned how to do this for their kids. Our kids are all fixed code kids. Our kids know how to do this and have been doing this since they were 5. Every ball tournament I went on, all the kids are like, Miss Stacey, can I do magic? Can I do magic? So like kids love this. You need to know. And every practitioner that does the fixed code that has kids, they do apply it into their private practices and the whole thing. Like they love all that. But their game changer was that they can do this for their kids. And their kids love it because there's no weird questions. Mom's not asking or dad's not asking any weird questions. It's the magic question. And that's it. So the kid can be really honest about how they feel. And in a couple of minutes, you've solved their problem and they're off. And their lives have changed.
Love
and that to me is one of the most powerful things that the fixed code has ever given me, is it allowed me to share this with my child. And he's never known a life without it. He's a fixed code kid since he was 5. So, he's 22 now. So he's a lucky guy, and he knows it. And his girlfriend and everybody has this. So it's a very empowering from a parent's tool, from a toolbox of a parent. Oh my gosh, best thing I ever did was learn how to do this.
Right.
For my kids.
Right.
Like for me, but for my kids. Oh yeah.
Well, I will definitely link all that down below as well. All right, last 2 questions. We'll go quick.
Okay.
So as we move into the middle half of 2025, Stacey, what is the single thing that a dad can do to really break free and really win for their spouse, for their kids, for their family, and kind of level up in their life?
Oh, this is an awesome question. Okay, so I think, and many of your dads have probably done this, so this is going to be real quick, is know your spouse's love language without question. Yeah, know how they receive love and how they give it, because they could be giving it to you in their way and you're not noticing it and they're feeling undervalued, not seen, whatever it is. So please know their love language and your children's too. Like, get to know your children's love languages, because if you've got a little one bringing you flower, weeds, and they're giving them to you as a gift, they're a gift giver. They love gifts. They're showing you through gifts. And so for you to show them gifts, you need to give them back a gift, whether it's a painted rock, whether it's whatever it is. Okay. But that's not how you're going to treat your other child, because they're actually acts of service or quality time. So giving them a painted rock, they're like, thanks, Dad. Whatever. Okay, this is junk. You know what I mean? Know who your people are in your home, but definitely your spouse, because if they feel valued and seen and adored or whatever, however they receive in their way, oh my gosh, your life will be like magic. The other thing is also know their personality quadrant. Understand how they interpret the world through language, or how they visually interpret the world, and how they process the world. Are they a boss? Are they an extrovert? Are they an introvert? Are they a supporter? Figure that out. And again, these are all the courses. I love all these courses and I teach them all. They're very, very fun. Know your kids, that kind of thing. And when you know this, never stop giving it. You will get everything you want.
Fantastic.
When your spouse feels lavished in whatever that is. Now, you might be grinding your teeth and wanting to gag in how they receive love and how they receive. Okay, here's an example. Your spouse might be words of affirmation, which is just cheerleader, man. Babe, you're gorgeous. I love what you're wearing today. This is gorgeous. It is over the top words of affirmation. Okay. And you're trying to choke this up and out of your mouth. Okay? Do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, do it anyways. Even if you have to, Google sayings that you can say to her throughout the day. Text her saying things like, I was thinking about you. Like, I saw something really beautiful and I thought of you. Like, you wanted steak for dinner 6 days a week, you're getting steak 6 days a week. Like, it will turn your home around. And same with your kids. Because they're going to feel heard, they're going to feel adored, and what you're going to do, what's going to happen is that your spouse is now going to say to you, babe, what do you want? Like, what can I do for you today? You just do so much for us. And
Perfect.
all you've changed is you are lavishing them in their love language. That's it. Like, it is a game changer.
Such great advice.
If your spouse isn't getting what they need, they will start to shut down on you, and they will start to resent you, and they will start to pick on you and attack you verbally or whatever. Or if they know that, for example, you're in service, your love language is in service, and you want to clean the camper this weekend, and that's like your idea of a good time is cleaning the camper together, she will be miserable all day long and resent you. And there you were going, I just wanted to have a fun day cleaning the camper. And she's like, yeah, well, you should have said something nice to me. Or like in her head, she'll never say it out loud. So learn her love language and then don't stop. Like, pedal to the metal. Don't stop. It will change your life. It really will.
It's fantastic. Fantastic advice. And you're right, it's hard. And you can ebb and flow out of it. If you go into the area where you're having that challenge, get back into the love language. I
For sure.
will continue with that now. Yeah.
Most people gag. Most people have a hard time with the other person's love language. Mm-hmm. Here's an example. If one is touch and one is quality time, if they don't get quality time, they're not going to let you touch them. And they won't touch you. And you need touch to give quality time. So now you're at a stalemate. And you've been at a stalemate for 10 years. Somebody's got to give. Make it you. Like, it's just do it. Give them quality time and you will be touched nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Last question. I know you got to run.
Sure.
This one will be quick. I call this my diamond advice. I ask this to every guest that I have the honor of having join me. So you have one son. He's 22. You've done everything you can. You've given him the fixed code. You've taught him all these lessons, and he's now out in the world, but he's forgotten everything, Stacey. Everything you've taught him except for one piece of diamond advice. What is that piece of advice that you would give to your son?
Be kind. Kindness will lead you in the right direction every single time, and you will remember everything through kindness. And he's so kind. He is such a kind human being. Yeah.
Stacey Nye, it's been such an honor to have you today. Appreciate your time.
Oh, this was wonderful. Thank you. And thank you to all your listeners. I just feel so honored to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it's all mine. Absolutely. All right, you have a good day.
Thank you so much. Take care.